Good morning. I am RameshSharma and I work with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Delhi. And today in this session, I'm going to present on the intelligent technology empowerment for smart education era of fifth education revolution. It is time to wake up now. Genome sequencing is 10 million times cheaper and around 100,000 times of higher quality than it was just a few years ago. Quantum computing is around the horizon. Artificial intelligence is displacing erstwhile white-collared jobs. Engineering education loans are now NPAs of the bank. So time to wake up. If you can only do what you have been taught how to do, you are replaceable by a piece of software or by a robot if sensing and motion are also involved. So therefore, we have to become self-learner. And thus, I invite you to join the fifth education revolution. Now, Sir Anthony Sheldon in his book, The Fourth Education Revolution, says that only 3 education revolutions can be said to have occurred in the last 3 to 5 million years. Schools and universities today would be recognized by our forefathers as far as back as the year 1600. Most of this will change with the fourth education revolution that is taking shape. Education 4.0 harnesses the latest digital technologies, which are blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, etc. And then pedagogical research like on neuroscience, cognitive science to enhance teaching, learning, and assessment. The Sustainable Development Goals were set up in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly and are intended to be achieved by 2030. Goal 4 about education is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. The slow progress in achieving SDG Goal 4 so far is reminiscent of another important target about 140 years back. Let me share this interesting perspective. The United States Constitution required that the population count be conducted at the beginning of every decade. This has been happening since the year 1790. As the country grew, each new census required greater effort than the last one, not merely in collecting the data, but also to compile it into usable form. For the processing of the 1880 data, it was realized that it was nowhere near the completion until 1888. It was then that a new technology of Hollerith punched card was introduced, and the count then proceeded so rapidly that the work was completed very soon. This later evolved into the famous IBM company. IBM led the way in perfecting card technology for recording and tabulating large sets of data for a variety of purposes. The fifth education revolution will be driven by the desire to achieve Sustainable Development Goals 4 by its planned target date. The shift of focus from teaching by educators in an authority-driven and regulated educational systems directed by mandatory educational policies to learning by interested and motivated learners who seek experiences and opportunities for the lifelong learner. And then metaverse. Such experiences and opportunities will be most readily available in metaverse, like shift from certificates that depend on performance in monolithic exams like board exams to an on-demand demonstration of cognitive and other intellectual abilities of a person at any time. Accelerated learning is to catch up with the rapid growth and expansion of the frontiers of knowledge. This will facilitate the rapid development of a quantum-ready workforce. The movement towards the fifth education revolution would be driven by the science of learning, perhaps the youngest science based on advances in science, and a better understanding of artificial general intelligence. Professor John Jimenez, in his book, Principles of the Theory of Solids, mentioned that the frontiers of knowledge, to coin a phrase, are always on the move. Today's discovery will tomorrow be part of the mental furniture of every research worker. By the end of the next week, it will begin every course of graduate lectures. And within a month, there will be a clamor to have it in the undergraduate curriculum. Next year, I do believe it will be seen so commonplace that it may be assumed to be known to every school child. It has also been inspired by an anecdote attributed to Albert Einstein. The story is told of how Albert Einstein one day gave his students a final examination that was a year old. In fact, Einstein had given his students the exact same final examination the year before. And his assistant noticed the error and timidly made the famous physicist aware of his mistake. Einstein looked closer at the newly distributed sheet and answered, "You are right. These are the same questions as last year, but the answers have changed." And more recently, the futurist Thomas Frey made an important observation that if we continue to insert a teacher in between ourselves and everything that we need to learn, we cannot possibly learn fast enough to meet the demands of the future. The fourth industrial revolution is dominated with technologies like Internet of Things, 3D printing, cloud computing, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, artificial intelligence, edge computing, digital twin, blockchain, and virtual assistants, to name a few. Gartner predicts that by the year 2030, we would witness major transitions in the way the businesses are transacted. Smart machines, connected devices, natural language processing, and cloud technologies are already in use and set to continue growing. Digital technologies have already made the world small, and it has transitioned from connected devices to connected humans. This has made easy to analyze big data, and the organizations are now able to use quantified self, which is wearable devices and sensors capturing data on different aspects of our life, like biological, physical, or behavioral, those things, and sensor networks and advanced analytics. UNESCO also indicated that artificial intelligence in education is expected to be worth 6 billion US dollars by 2024, and is a great tool to accelerate the progress towards Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which is quality education. And this has a unique perspective in reference to my country. Very recently, means just 3 days ago, we celebrated our 76th Independence Day on 15th August. General public access to internet began in India on 15th August 1995, 27 years back. It was earlier limited to an academic and research community within the project of ERNET, which is Educational and Research Network. Since then, internet access has grown exponentially, and soon we will also have 5G. Now, then, what does the future look like? The Technology Vision 2035, the report, 2015 report by Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council. The title was the Technology Vision 2035. It indicated that schools, colleges, universities are currently constituted, will be redundant in 2035. Instead, we will have institutions of learning that are virtual, meta, or open in character. Although the actual education needs of different segments of our population would vary enormously based upon life circumstances and livelihood opportunities, certain core targets in the area of education would be critical to achieve. Due attention would be paid to their cognitive development even before informal education begins at the age of 3. All people would have affordable reskilling opportunities to meet the changing requirements of the job market. In a longer living and aging society, everybody would have access to second career and lifelong learning. In 2017 itself, Sir Anthony Sheldon has predicted that by the year 2027, robots and artificial intelligence will replace human teachers. So will robot replace teachers in the future? That is a big question, which is just a decade away at that time when there. There have been certain experiences, like William Gibson in The Economist dated 2003 had predicted that the future is already here. It is just not evenly distributed. And you may be knowing about AI-based teacher-less learning systems, the EQUAL of 42. Among the top contenders of the most trending words of the year 2021, Metaverse offers a parallel virtual universe. It opens up a whole new world of economic prospects, from virtual music events to NFT-based products. And due to its vast potential, many big technology giants are already taking a leap and entering the world of Metaverse. Professor Chungju Bai and colleagues have recently proposed the metaverse in medicine and suggested naming the year 2022 as the year of metaverse in medicine. Three areas in which metaverse is likely to gain dominance in healthcare industry are surgical operations, mental health, and medical education and training. The UN General Assembly 2015 resolution regarding good health and well-being will be realized most likely with leveraging the metaverse. The Sustainable Development Goal number 3 aims to achieve universal health coverage that seeks equitable access to healthcare services to all men and women. It proposes to end the preventable death of newborns, infants, and child under 5 and epidemics. The potential of metaverse in healthcare and medicine is now well appreciated, but it may take another decade for it being used actively in hospitals and medical practices. Therefore, we have to prepare ourselves for a future with driverless cars and teacherless learning, or what we may better call it smart learning. The learners will, of course, make this transition relatively easy, as bots and recommender systems are already part of their environment. But erstwhile educators and teachers will have to make a conscious effort to transfer to their new roles of mentors, coaches, and cognitive development facilitators, perhaps in their avatars as entrepreneurs, for which we need to focus on certain aspects, like all of us must learn to anticipate the future. All sports persons playing cricket, football, tennis, for example, have to guess successfully where the ball is headed. Foresight is the secret ingredient of all success, because without foresight, we cannot prepare for the future. The literal opposite of artificial intelligence is natural stupidity, and you would be surprised by its pervasiveness. Even if we may not have the help of artificial intelligence technologies to empower ourselves, we could significantly improve our lives if we could cut down on the natural stupidity prevailing in our lives. It is widely believed that we have evolved from hunter-gatherers, agricultural, and industrial to a post-industrial society driven by creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And ideas are the currency of such a society. And we were not only born learners, but naturally curious with a lot of questions. The growing up process required that we stop questioning and accepting the various authorities. So with this, I wish to thank Professor M.M. Pant for his wonderful inputs for this presentation. And I wish all the participants who are viewing this, participating in this session, very best. Thank you so much.